I'm 52 years old. I've worked full-time since I was 22. That's 30 years of continuous employment. I've never been unemployed, never been fired. I've been a responsible, productive member of society for 3 decades. Last week I checked my retirement account balance. $17,340. $17,340. That's everything I have saved for retirement, for the rest of my life. After I stop working. Financial advisors say you need $1.8 million to retire comfortably at 65. I have $17,340. I'm 13 years away from retirement age. I did the math. If I save $1,000 per month starting today and get 7% annual returns, I'll have $220,000 by age 65. I need $1.8 million. I'll have $220,000. I'm $1.58 million short. And I can't save $1,000 per month. I can barely save $200. I'm Generation X, born in 1972. I'm part of the forgotten generation. And we're about to become the first generation of senior citizens living in mass poverty. Let me show you how this happened. The generation. Nobody talks about everyone talks about boomers. Everyone talks about millennials. Everyone talks about Gen Z. Nobody talks about Gen X. We're the 65 million Americans born between 1965 and 1980. We're currently ages 44 to 59. We're in the peak earning years of our lives. We should be set for retirement. We're not. Here are the numbers that should terrify you. Average Gen X retirement savings, $40,000, not median. Average. That means half of Gen X has less than $40,000 saved. I have $17,340. I'm below average, but I'm not unusual. 55% of Gen X has less than $10,000 saved for retirement. Over half. We're 44 to 59 years old. Most of us have 6 to 15 years until retirement, and we have less than $10,000. 1 in 3 Gen Xers has zero retirement savings. Nothing. No 401k, no IRA, no pension, nothing. We're the generation that's going to retire into poverty, and nobody's talking about it. How did this happen? I've been asking myself this question for years. How did I work for 30 years and end up with $17,340? I'll tell you exactly how. 1987 to 1991. I graduated into a recession. I graduated college in 1994. Entry-level jobs paid $24,000 to $28,000. My first job, $26,500 as a marketing coordinator. Rent, $650 per month for a studio apartment. Student loans, $340 per month. Car payment, $285. Insurance, $120. I had maybe $200 left per month after expenses. I couldn't save. I was surviving. Not building wealth, surviving. 1999 to 2000, dot-com bubble. I finally got a decent job in 1998, making $48,000, started contributing to my 401k, put in $3,000 in 1999, $4,500 in 2000. The market crashed in 2001. My $7,500 became $3,200. I lost $4,300, over half my savings. Gone. Stopped contributing. What was the point? 2001 to 2003. Post 9/11, recession, got laid off in 2002. Unemployment for 8 months. Burned through what little savings I'd rebuilt. Took a job making $42,000. Less than I'd made 3 years earlier. Started over again. 2008 to 2009. Financial crisis. By 2007, I was making $68,000. Finally, feeling stable. Had $23,000 in my 401k. Not great, but progress. The 2008 crash wiped out 40% of it. $23,000 became $13,800. And I got laid off. Again. Unemployment for 11 months. Cashed out my 401k to survive. Paid penalties. Paid taxes. Walked away with $9,200. So spent it all on rent and food while I looked for work. Started over, again. At age 37, with $0 saved. 2020 to 2021. COVID recession survived this one, didn't get laid off, but didn't get raises either. Pay freeze for 2 years. Expenses didn't freeze. Rent went up 28%, groceries up 35%, gas doubled. I'm making $72,000 now in 2025. After taxes, that's $4,100 per month take home. My expenses, $3,900 per month. I save $200 per month when nothing unexpected happens, which never happens. Last month, my car needed $1,200 in repairs. There goes 6 months of savings. This is why I have $17,340 at age 52. Not because I'm irresponsible, because I've lived through 4 recessions, 2 market crashes, wage stagnation, and exploding costs. The retirement math that doesn't work. Financial advisors say you can withdraw 4% of your retirement savings per year safely. If I have $17,340 saved, 4% is $694 per year. That's $58 per month. Social Security will pay me approximately $1,850 per month when I retire at 67. My total retirement income, $1,908 per month. My current rent, $1,650 per month. After rent, I'll have $258 per month for food, utilities, healthcare, everything. Medicare doesn't cover everything. I'll need supplemental insurance. That's $200 to $300 per month. I'll have negative $42 to $142 per month to live on. After working for 45 years, this is Gen X retirement. This is what we're facing, and nobody cares. Because nobody talks about Gen X. We're the forgotten generation, the ignored generation, the generation that's about to retire into poverty, i.e. the sandwich generation trap. Here's what makes Gen X different from every other generation. We're not just broke, we're squeezed from both sides. Above us, our boomer parents are aging. Many need financial help, need care, need support. Below us, our millennial and Gen Z kids can't afford to move out, can't afford rent, can't afford life. They're living with us. In their late 20s and early 30s, we're the sandwich generation, caring for parents above, supporting kids below, and drowning in the middle. Let me give you my reality. My mom is 78. My dad died 3 years ago. Mom lives on $1,640 per month in Social Security. Her rent is $1,200. That leaves her $440 for food, medications, everything. She can't afford her blood pressure medication. It's $180 per month without insurance. So I pay it. Every month, $180. She needs help with groceries. I give her $200 per month. Sometimes $300 if she has unexpected expenses. That's $380 to $480 per month I'm sending my mom. Because she can't survive on Social Security alone. My son is 28. He has a college degree. He makes $42,000 working in marketing. His rent in our city would be $1,800 for a studio apartment. He can't afford that on $42,000, so he lives with me in his old bedroom. At 28 years old, he pays me $400 per month. That doesn't cover his food, utilities, his share of everything, but it's what he can afford. I can't ask for more. My daughter is 25. She graduated college in 2022 with $38,000 in student loans. She makes $38,000 as a teacher. She also lives with me, pays $350 per month. I'm 52 years old. I have 2 adult children living in my house. I'm financially supporting my 78-year-old mother. And I'm trying to save for my own retirement. It's not working. I was supposed to save $200 per month, but Mom needed $300 for a dental emergency in March. My son's car broke down in April. I gave him $800. My daughter needed $400 for mandatory classroom supplies her school doesn't pay for. I saved $0 in March, $0 in April, negative $200 in May because my own car needed repairs. This is the Gen X experience. We can't save because we're supporting everyone around us. Parents who don't have enough, kids who can't afford to launch, and we're left with nothing for ourselves. Why Gen X got screwed. The pension death. Here's what happened to retirement in America. And Gen X is the generation that got caught in the transition. Boomers had pensions. My dad worked for the same company for 38 years. When he retired in 2003, he got a pension. $3,200 per month. Guaranteed. For life. He didn't need to save. He didn't need to invest. The company took care of retirement. That was the deal. Gen X was promised pensions. Then the companies killed them. I started working in 1994. My first job offered a pension. Work here for 30 years, you'll get $2,400 per month for life when you retire. I worked there for 6 years. In 2000, the company announced they were freezing the pension. No new employees would get it, and current employees would get reduced benefits. By 2005, the pension was completely eliminated. Even for people who'd worked there 20 years, they got a one-time payout. My $18,000 in pension value got converted to a $6,200 check. I put it in my 401k. The 2008 crash reduced it to $2,400. Then I cashed it out during unemployment. Onto the 401k scam companies told us, pensions are old-fashioned. 401s are better. You control your money, you invest it yourself. But they didn't tell us. We'd live through 4 market crashes that would wipe out our savings. We'd get laid off repeatedly and have to cash out to survive. Fees would eat 1% to 2% of our returns every year. Most of us don't know how to invest and would make terrible decisions. We'd be too broke to contribute anyway. The average Gen X 401k balance, $40,000. After 25 to 30 years of working, Boomers got guaranteed pensions. Gen X got a 401k scam that left us with nothing. And Millennials and Gen Z, they're even more screwed than we are. Real Gen X stories. I'm not unique, I'm the average. Let me show you. Jennifer, 54, Houston savings, $8,200. Works as an office manager making $58,000. And supports her 82-year-old father who has dementia. Pays $1,800 per month for his memory care facility that Medicare doesn't fully cover. Has 2 adult sons living with her, ages 26 and 29, both underemployed. I'm going to work until I die, Jennifer told me. There's no retirement for me. I'll be 80 years old still working if my body holds out. Marcus, 49, Phoenix savings, $0. Laid off in 2008, cashed out his 401k to survive. Got divorced in 2012, split everything. Started over at 37 with nothing. Makes $64,000 as an accountant now. Pays $1,200 per month in child support for his 2 teenagers. Pays $700 per month supporting his mother. I've given up on retirement, Marcus said. I'm just trying to make it to Social Security, if Social Security still exists. Rebecca, 56, Atlanta savings, $22,000. Highest earner of the 3. And makes $88,000 as an HR director. Should be in great shape, right? Wrong. She has $127,000 in student loan debt, not from her own education, from co-signing loans for her 2 kids who both went to college. Her kids couldn't get loans on their own. Rebecca co-signed. Her daughter graduated, got a job making $35,000, can't afford the $640 per month payment. Her son is still in grad school. Rebecca is paying $1,100 per month in student loan payments for her kids' education. I'll be paying these loans until I'm 70, Rebecca said. I co-signed because I wanted my kids to have opportunities I didn't have. Now I've destroyed my own retirement to give them a degree that doesn't even pay enough to cover the loans. These are real people. Real Gen X lives. We all have the same story. We worked hard. We did everything right, and we're broke. On Social Security, the final betrayal. Here's the part that should terrify every Gen Xer. Social Security is going bankrupt. Not maybe, not possibly, mathematically, definitely. Current projection, Social Security Trust Fund depleted in 2033. That's 8 years from now. I'll be 60, still working, still trying to save. When the trust fund runs out, Social Security can only pay benefits from current tax revenue. That's about 79% of promised benefits. My projected Social Security at 67, $1,850 per month. After 2033 cuts, $1,462 per month. That's a $388 per month cut, $4,656 per year. And that's if I wait until 67. Most Gen Xers won't be able to wait. We'll be forced to take it at 62 because we can't afford to keep working or we've been laid off. At 62, my benefit would be $1,295 per month. After the 21% cut in 2033, $1,023 per month. Han, you cannot survive on $1,023 per month. Not in America, not in 2033. Rent alone will be $2,000 to $2,500 per month by then. Medicare supplement insurance, $400 per month. Prescription drugs, $300 per month. The math doesn't work. Gen X is looking at mass senior poverty, and nobody cares because we're the forgotten generation. Boomers got theirs, millennials are loud enough to get attention. Gen X, we're just quietly drowning. What happens in 10 years, 2035? Let me paint you a picture of what America looks like in 2035. I'll be 62 years old. The youngest Gen Xers will be 55. The oldest will be 70. We'll all be retirement age, or close to it, and millions of us will be destitute. Here's what the data projects. By 2035, 48% of Gen X will be living below the poverty line in retirement. That's 31 million Americans, 31 million senior citizens in poverty. I'm not struggling, not getting by, actually poor, unable to afford basic necessities. Elder homelessness will increase by 300% between 2025 and 2035. Right now, there are about 40,000 homeless seniors in America. By 2035, that number will hit 160,000. Gen X will make up 75% of them. You're going to see 60-year-olds living in cars, in tents, under bridges, not because they're drug addicts, not because they're mentally ill, because they worked their whole lives and still couldn't save enough to afford rent in retirement. Food bank usage among seniors will double. Right now, 5.2 million seniors rely on food banks. By 2035, that number hits 11 million. Gen X will be standing in food bank lines after working 40+ years, after doing everything society told us to do. This isn't speculation. This is math. And this is what happens when an entire generation has no retirement savings and Social Security gets cut by 21%. The working until death generation. Here's the reality most Gen Xers are facing. We're not going to retire. We're going to work until we physically can't anymore. And then we're going to die. Probably broke, probably in debt. I'm 52. My body already hurts, my knees ache, my back hurts. I have high blood pressure, I'm on 3 medications. How am I supposed to work until 70, until 75? What choice do I have? If I retire at 67 with $17,340 in savings and $1,462 in Social Security after cuts, I can't survive. I'll be homeless within a year, so I'll work. I'll work at 68, at 70, at 72, until my body gives out or my employer decides I'm too old and replaces me with someone younger and cheaper. And then what? And then I become one of the 160,000 homeless seniors living in my car if I'm lucky, living in a tent if I'm not. This is Gen X retirement. This is our future. The Walmart greeter generation. You know those 75-year-old Walmart greeters you see? The ones standing at the door saying, "Welcome to Walmart for $14 an hour"? That's going to be Gen X. Millions of us in our 70s. Working retail, working fast food, working whatever job will hire us. Because we can't afford not to. We'll be the most educated senior citizens in American history. College degrees, work experience, skills. And we'll be greeting customers at Walmart, stocking shelves at Target, cleaning hotel rooms because we have to, because $1,400 a month in Social Security doesn't cover rent. Why nobody helps Gen X. You want to know why nobody talks about this crisis? Why there's no political will to help Gen X? Because we're politically invisible. We're only 65 million people. We're a small generation. Sandwiched between boomers, 76 million, and millennials, 72 million. Politicians don't care about us. We're not a big enough voting bloc to matter. Boomers, they vote. They're 22% of the electorate. Politicians cater to them. That's why Social Security and Medicare exist. Boomers demand it. Millennials, they're loud. They're on social media, they organize. Politicians have to pay attention to them. Gen X, we're 17% of the electorate. We're quiet. We don't protest. We don't organize. We just work and pay our bills and suffer in silence. Nobody's coming to save us. Because nobody cares about a small, quiet generation that doesn't make noise. The policy that will never happen. Here's what should happen. What would actually solve this crisis? 1. Expand Social Security, increase benefits by 50%. Fund it by removing the income cap on payroll taxes. 2. Create a national pension system. Every American gets a guaranteed retirement income. $2,500 per month minimum. Funded by wealth taxes on the ultra-rich. 3. Forgive Gen X debt, medical debt. Student loan debt, including co-signed loans. Credit card debt accumulated during recessions. Wipe it all out. 4. Affordable senior housing. Build 5 million affordable housing units for seniors. Rent capped at $800 per month. This would solve the problem. This would save Gen X. But it's never going to happen. Why? Because it would cost money. It would require taxing the wealthy. It would require political courage. And politicians don't have courage. They have donors, and donors don't want to be taxed. So Gen X will be sacrificed. We'll work until we die. We'll live in poverty. We'll suffer, and nobody will care. What I'm actually going to do, I've spent weeks thinking about this. What am I actually going to do with $17,340 saved and 13 years until retirement age? Here's my realistic plan. Save what I can. Even if it's only $200 per month. Even if emergencies wipe it out. I keep trying. Maybe I'll have $50,000 by 67. Maybe. Work as long as possible. I'll work until I'm 70, maybe 72, as long as my body holds out and someone will employ me. Downsize everything. When my kids finally move out, hopefully I'll move to a cheaper apartment. Maybe a studio. $1,000 per month instead of $1,650. Save that $650 difference. Plan to leave the expensive city. When I retire, I can't afford to stay here. I'll move somewhere cheap. Rural Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi. Somewhere rent is $600 per month. Accept a lower quality of life. I'm not going to travel. I'm not going to have hobbies that cost money. I'm going to live small. Very small. Hope I die before the money runs out. I'm being honest. If I live to 85, I'll run out of money. My hope is that I die at 78, maybe 80, before I'm destitute. That's dark, but that's the reality. I've worked for 30 years. I'll work another 18 to 20 years. That's 48 to 50 years of labor. And my retirement plan is, hope I die before I go broke. That's Gen X retirement. The message to other generations, to millennials and Gen Z, you think you have it bad now? Wait until you're 52 with $17,000 saved. You're on the same path we're on, worse actually. You have more student debt, lower wages, higher costs, no pensions at all. If Gen X is screwed, you're super screwed. You start saving now. I don't care if it's $25 per month, do it. Because Social Security won't exist when you retire, and nobody's going to bail you out. To boomers, you got yours, pensions, affordable housing, Social Security that's fully funded. We didn't get any of that, and we're paying for your retirement with our taxes while we can't afford our own. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just asking you to understand. Your retirement is funded, ours isn't. That's the reality. To politicians, you've abandoned Gen X. We know it. You know it. But millennials and Gen Z are watching. They see what you did to us. They see that you don't care about working people. Fix this. Not for us. It's too late for us, but for them. Or in 30 years, you'll have 140 million senior citizens in poverty instead of 31 million. The final truth, I'm 52 years old. I have $17,340 saved for retirement. I need $1.8 million. I'm not going to make it. I know that. I've accepted it. I'm going to work until my body breaks. Then I'm going to live on whatever Social Security hasn't been cut. I'm going to downsize my life until there's almost nothing left. and I'm going to hope I die before the money runs out. This is Gen X retirement. For millions of us, we're the forgotten generation, the generation that fell through the cracks. We survived 4 recessions, 2 market crashes, wage stagnation, exploding costs, the death of pensions, the 401k scam, and we're going to retire into poverty. My name is David, I'm 52, I'm Gen X, and I'm screwed.